Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the descent into Holmes End. Let's get right into this as we always do. Let's start talking about your characters, who you play, and what is your greatest fear?
Oh boy.
Let's start with Ryan, while everybody else thinks about their answer.
Hello, I'm Ryan. I play Mr. Briar Weathers, a private detective from Anchorage, Alaska, and he has been through quite a bit since he's arrived in the little old Holmes End. His biggest fear is having the option to intervene and for sure save a situation from its most catastrophic outcome, and for some reason not being able to. You know, it's like in a dream when you try to punch the guy robbing an old lady, and your punch just like bounces off like it's nothing.
It's a complicated one, but I can absolutely see why. Let's go over to Halia.
Hi. I'm Halia. I play Crystal Reeves. I don't remember where she's from. I have it written down, but I digress.
She's from somewhere.
She's from somewhere. Oh my god, her greatest fear. I don't really know. I mean, I guess, like, maybe the basic ones, like dying. Maybe alien abductions.
Sure, all that it's probably also on her bucket list.
That absolutely. It's on her fear bucket list.
She want to get probed,
but she.
All right, sure. That's fair. That's fair.
Maybe not everyone's into
that's a common one.
Evan.
No, she's not. She's not.
Speak for yourselves.
Speaking of probing, what's your new character Andre's biggest fear?
Well, hi, I'm Evan. I play Andre Morgan, Dr. Andre Morgan. His biggest fear? Crushing loneliness.
Classic.
He's afraid to be alone.
Yeah.
Let's go, me and you both, Andre, and let's finish it off with Alyssa.
Hi, hello. I'm Alyssa. I play Lauren Brown. She's from somewhere in Massachusetts. I don't remember what town in Massachusetts, but she's
Boston.
from Massachusetts.
The city of somewhere.
The city of somewhere in Massachusetts. Her biggest fear? Probably going back to her past and living that past again, because we haven't really talked about her past, but it's not a pretty one.
That's something she would like to relive.
Yeah. A lot of trauma and loneliness, and she wouldn't want to live that again. So, yeah.
Makes sense. Well, thank you for all the input. Let's get right into this episode, shall we? In the last episode, the party dealt with the aftermath of the investigation below the mausoleum. The group debated on what to do next. While Lauren and Briar went to the library, Crystal went to the cafe. While there, Crystal met a peculiar man named Andre Morgan. He was a psychologist at the Kraken Asylum and appeared to have an interest in Briar. While on their way to the library, Crystal spotted something at the edge of the woods. Something that never revealed itself to her, but left its fearful mark nonetheless. Back at the library, Briar and Lauren managed to convince the librarian, Arthur, to let them hide out in the attic. Arthur stated he would deal with this problem while the group rested. It was during this night, after Lauren had a strange dream about a man who told her to wake up, that we left off. As Lauren woke up, she heard the attic stair drop down. Expecting a member of the party, she stayed quiet as this figure made his way into their hideout. Let's see who's climbing the stairs. In Chapter 5, A Rude Awakening.
I don't want
as
to
we
find
start
out.
off
I don't
session
wanna.
5 immediately. This figure made their way up to the attic. It was dark, and Lauren could hardly see anything. As her eyes adjusted, she made eye contact with the man. He was bald, with a stern face, stubble, and lean figure. With a shock, she realized the figure was holding a gun. He said something.
If you stay quiet, we can have some fun later.
Before taking a pillow and shooting Briar in the head. What was Lauren's thought process?
Oh, every single thought you could probably have in
Yeah.
that moment, she was thinking. She
Walk me
definitely.
through it from when he walked up the stairs to the moment.
So at first she thought it
Relive
was
it.
Crystal. I don't want to relive it. But at first she thought it was Crystal. So she was like, oh, okay, it's fine. Kind of forgetting what Dream Man said. And then she realized it was a guy with a gun. And she immediately put her hands up. She stayed quiet. And yeah, she was like, I'm not risking my life or the people's life around me. So whatever he's going to say to me. Okay, Evan. Whatever
He
he's
held up
going
a
to
squeeze
say.
bottle.
Whatever he's
Pepper
going to
spray.
say, I'm just gonna listen and follow through because there's a power
Yeah.
difference right now. You got a gun. My life is
Yeah,
in your
and
hands
for those
right
who
now.
don't know, in Call of Cthulhu, if somebody's holding a gun, they have plus 50 to initiative. So he would have gone first if anything happened. Yeah.
Even rules out of the window, not even considering rules. You got a gun, I have nothing to defend myself. You win. So
What about what he was saying to you?
honestly, I think with the stressfulness of the moment, it went in one ear out the other.
Yeah.
Her main worry was I don't want the people around me to be affected right now. She wasn't even considering her own life in that moment. It was more so the other people that probably care about theirs. So it's
the issue is it happened too quick to even think about what to do and how to stop this guy.
Exactly. So when he walked over to Briar and shot him in the head, it's holy fuck.
Yeah.
I thought
For
if
me,
I
my
went with you,
heart
no one would
sank.
get hurt. That's what she was thinking. So, yeah, it was immediate heart sunk.
Yep. It's one of those moments you probably repeat over and over as we move forward. But it was quick. A soft gunshot rang out. Briar let out a shrill cry. By some profound luck, he had jolted in his sleep, causing the bullet to only rip through the skin in his head. The party raced into action. Unfortunately, Crystal was downstairs half asleep and missed out on the entire fight. The figure tried to shoot Briar again, but Walter managed to rush over and wrestle the gun out of his hands. Lauren raced after it, just barely getting there before the man. Briar, now bleeding profusely from the side of his head, was filled with adrenaline. He grabbed the figure, threw him against the ground, before beating him to death with his bare hands.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Let's take a
Get
moment,
curb stomped.
calm down. What was going through all of your heads?
A bullet.
Yo,
That's so true.
I actually remember
Very true.
he shot Briar twice. Once it
Yeah.
grazed on the left side of his head. This is my left, by the way. I know it's mirrored for you guys, but it grazed on the left, right by his eye, and the second one went right through his cheek.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
I remember he rolled with advantage, And he didn't get an extreme, because an extreme would probably just kill Briar. But he must have rolled pretty shit.
I think the first bullet did like 7 damage, and the second one did 2, and Briar was left at like 1 or 2
Yeah,
HP
holy
afterwards.
fuck. That's scary, dude.
Yeah.
That's luck.
I didn't
That
know
Briar
that.
luck, bro.
Yeah,
leading up
someone's
to
watching over him.
Leading up to that moment, I was like, Briar's dead. Briar's dead, and his only hope is a frozen
squishy in
college
Call of
student. It's
Cthulhu.
over. He's so over. And then the bullet didn't kill him, and I was like, the only thing I can think of to do is fucking slam him against the ground, and then it kind of got out of hand when he started beating him to death. But
Yeah,
I
what
thought you
was-
kicked him to
no,
death.
he punched him to death. Fucking just
Yeah.
Pure
right in his
hands.
face. Yeah.
Thought you were like
Briar
curb stomping him.
Was Briar even thinking when he woke up and during that entire situation, or was it just instinct?
He was like, there is a man, there's presumably someone in front of me who just tried to kill me because there's this stinging, ringing pain in the left side of my head. I need to get rid of, like, subdue them. And that's what the punches were supposed to do, but obviously in the heat of the moment, it was, the adrenaline running through him. He didn't mean to kill that guy. He was just like, I need to make sure he's down for the count. And,
Was this Briar's first time killing somebody?
absolutely. Briar has seen many dead bodies before in probably worse states than that guy was left off in. But it going forward, it definitely took a toll on him.
Yeah, what was he like immediately after? Just after that was all done, the adrenaline was slowly leaving your body, and the exhaustion took, and you felt the pain in your head and the blood pouring down your cheek. What was that like?
Briar was fucking terrified. He was like, I almost just died. And also I killed somebody, because Briar, he had no intent of doing that, but in the moment he was like, he was rationalizing. He was like, well, he tried to kill me, I did what I had to do. And that was kind of the coping mentality of, it wasn't my fault, but,
But that's something that'll seep into your subconscious.
Yeah, and going forward, Briar's actually, of course, many times he's been like, oh, dude, I'm gonna fucking kill that guy. But he's never, from that moment on, even, like, seriously considered, like, I'm gonna kill this guy. Or, like, so on and so forth. When it comes to another person,
Yeah.
he's like,
He's definitely gotten his emotions under control.
Yeah, he's like, I never want to do that again. I remember, I guess we'll get to it afterwards, but he was in a pretty big, like not deficit, but I guess like hole. And when no one was looking, it would take its toll. He'd shake, he'd let tears out, and when they eventually got to the library and got to like the next area, he like threw up a shit ton because he just killed someone with his bare hands.
Because even though the adrenaline's cooling down, you're still in the moment. It's not done yet.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, it'll definitely take its toll.
Mm-hmm.
But how did this moment affect Lauren's character?
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
It affected her so much. She felt very guilty over what happened. Maybe if she said more, did more, things would have turned out differently. Even if she just went with the guy, like, maybe Briar wouldn't have gotten shot in the head. Like, it was all these what ifs that was playing in her head. And I remember, this is really dark, but I remember when Lauren kicked the gun out, all she could do was stare at that gun, and the worst thoughts came to her mind. And it was just an awful moment for her, and such a real moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just all the what ifs she could do, even though I don't think there was anything me as a player or Lauren as a character could have done differently to have the events changed.
The way I see it, it's definitely not Lauren's fault at all. It was too quick, and I don't think anybody would have reacted appropriately.
But yeah, I don't.
Do you
know.
feel the same?
I mean, yeah, as a player, I'm like, there's nothing I could have done.
Yeah.
Everything happened too fast. But as a character, you're thinking about all those what ifs. Like,
Exactly.
what if I said something? What if I just went with him? What if I, like, I don't know, did something and not just sit there defenselessly, you know?
Yeah. And they'll definitely stick with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. For such a small and fast moment, like it probably lasted like 12, 16 seconds in total. It was big. Like, a lot of people were affected by it, and it just goes to show you how even when you think you're safe,
You're never
unexpected
fucking
things
safe.
could happen.
Yeah.
What was
Oh, sorry.
what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, we'll get more into how it really affected Lauren.
Yeah.
The more we get into the chapter, but this moment has never left her, even to like current
That makes sense.
day and age.
Imagine,
Yeah.
yeah. Very shocking. What about Crystal?
Crystal didn't see anything.
No, but you saw the aftermath, and you probably heard the
Yes.
gunshots.
Yeah, I think the gunshot
remember,
woke you up, I think.
Yeah. Well, she wasn't asleep from what I remember, but maybe she was. Oh, doesn't really matter.
I said just half asleep, probably.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
probably like
Just to-
jolted you up.
I remember
think.
Crystal saw the figure going upstairs. She grabbed a pen and started following him. She just didn't make it there.
Oh,
in time.
yes, true.
Did she?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I did. Because I was like, what if I go up behind him and because I see the gun, what if I just like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna click you to death, buddy boy. Did you do anything?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. You. The reason why it took so long is because you rooted around. You made an investigation check.
Yeah, because I was like, I need to find a pen. I need to find something.
And that took too
Find
long.
something. Yeah, definitely should have just ran up, but Crystal thinks she can be an FBI agent. She can't, but she tries. But when she went up, she saw what was left of the man's head, and she was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? I don't even know how to like imagine reacting to
Yeah,
that.
I feel like most of you rolled
So-
sanity checks. I know Briar
Probably.
definitely
I
did.
think all
If we're
of
seeing the
us
body, yeah.
We all definitely did.
Oh my fucking god.
Ryan
we
closed
did
his
a
window
compilation
again.
video.
There's kids. There's a family rolling around outside. So I, was
I feel like now you're just making up excuses.
no, I'm
He
not.
just wants to
I'm
show
not.
off
It's the
I
motorcycle man again.
I heard
There's a family rolling
with
around.
a
At
what
the
is it
speed of
called? A
sound.
wagon, and I heard the wagon on the concrete.
I didn't hear anything, but
You're downstairs, but
No, I
Yeah,
meant from
buddy,
Discord.
okay.
yeah, she was just like in shock and mildly concerned about Briar. Not well, I mean, obviously, because you were like fucking Two-Face over here, but just like you killed a guy.
Mhm.
Understandably, why? But just like you killed a guy.
mm-hmm.
So she understood that I was in self-defense, but she was like, damn,
Unfortunately,
my guy really just killed
yeah,
someone
unfortunately, that moment
with his hands.
has never left Briar either.
Yeah. Big moment.
Yeah.
And
was just
unfortunately, Andre wasn't there. But do you think he
Maybe
could have made a
fortunately.
difference if he was?
No.
Not at all?
No. I mean, maybe helping with the cleanup and like patching up Briar faster,
Sure, definitely
but
could have helped with that.
definitely he wouldn't have been able to
Awful.
help in the combat situation.
Would you have tried to talk to the figure?
Probably not.
No? Yeah, same sort of situation.
Like after getting a glimpse of a gun, it would have been like
Yep. Just shock. Yeah.
Just
okay.
utter shock.
Fair enough. That's
Listen,
not much you could have done.
we'll get into it, but I've had my fair share of shitty things to do.
You know the
Welcome
worst.
to the
For
club.
sure.
The worst part about it all, if Briar was awake, he probably would have rushed the guy with the gun.
Absolutely.
I'm
going
That's the-
three
that's the worst-
rounds
I think
with the
Briar
guy
was
with the
one of the
gun.
only characters who would have done that.
Yeah, he's just like, there's people in this room that can't defend themselves, but I've got the training for it.
It's interesting to note that Walter rushed at the guy because I kind of totally forgot that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that fact was never lost. Like, that's never been lost on Briar leading up to, because obviously there's more points past this, but
Yeah, I remember it
from that
very
moment
well.
forward,
fact, when-
Briar was like, Walter's got more fucking like guts than I gave him credit for.
Yeah,
I think it
I
also.
think
I just-
in that
Just
situation,
remembered it.
I don't think Walter was even thinking very much because he could have easily been killed, like very fucking easily. And I think he got very lucky in the situation.
I also
think-
think.
He was just like, I need to stop this.
I also think it probably has something to do with the same kind of mirror on why Briar would also try to stop him. And it's literally not even a day ago, the whole Vincent thing happened. And I feel like both were kind of feeling guilty, and they're like, I can't be a bystander anymore moving
that
forward.
makes a lot of sense.
Can't be a bystander moving forward. And that's something that Briar was like, I have a lot of respect for that. You know, I appreciate that.
But after this entire situation, the group realized they could not stay in town any longer. In the middle of the night, they took what they could and prepared to leave Holmes End. In the middle of this, Briar called Arthur, who reassured him once again he should leave town while he dealt with the problem. As he left Holmes End, those who were perceptive enough noticed something in the woods. A figure in a pinstripe suit, facing away from them. Even though his eyes were turned, they could feel him watching them. All the while, a faint music was heard outside, muffled by the car. Before they got out of eyesight, the thing ran back into the woods, its limbs startlingly folding backwards as it went. I forgot exactly what happened in this moment, to be completely honest. Like my notes, I wrote watch them leave.
Classic
But I definitely know that something like this happened, because I remember Hallie remembered it very vividly. But yeah, I wanted to just clarify that is this what you guys remember?
Oh, this was a different moment that I remembered.
Briar was asleep.
Yeah.
Well, who
remember-
drove the car out?
I think it was Lauren.
That makes
We were in
sense.
her
Yeah,
car.
Brian got shot twice.
Yeah, I think that was me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Editor, can
Hey
you put a
Briar,
photo
hey
of
Briar, can you drive?
Yeah, put Briar-
I
put
really
the
don't
aftermath.
want to.
Put the aftermath
Here.
back
Yeah.
up. Put the aftermath back up.
I'll reenact what Briar was doing.
Yep, in the back.
Real.
Of the
Evan, you love sleeping on the job. Get up, buddy.
Yeah, was this the moment?
Shut
Haley?
the fuck up.
No, this was a different moment, but I remember this because I thought unless this is a different moment again, but I thought we
No, that's
No.
a different moment.
No, the only
That was
person
like
hit.
way after.
Yeah.
okay. So I don't remember this then. I remember we heard the music when we left the library.
No, I think that that moment happened when Briar went to the hospital.
And I.
Yeah, yeah, it was Briar who hit. I think this moment
Oh,
I was
okay.
driving. I don't
Yeah.
Yeah.
think
This is
we saw
another
it,
subtle
or at
moment.
least some of us saw it, and then we're like, nothing's going on. We're just gonna drive past it. And nothing's happening.
Yeah.
There's other
Yeah,
things
this
to
is
be
this is
worried
this too
about
much.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I remember when we left the library at some point, we heard the music, but we didn't see him though. So
Yeah, I remember
That
hearing
was-
it. I think only a few people saw it.
yeah, I was not one of those people.
Well, Briar wasn't.
Well, either way,
It might have been Lauren.
One of the many
know.
moments
Sure it was.
that Briar
Yeah.
will always miss it.
but now you guys get a visual of this thing. Did seeing it make it more frightening?
Yep.
Or
I feel like it's now you're putting a face to the voice
Well,
kind of.
well, not really.
Back of the
Scenario.
head.
You're putting a form to it, and the form's fucking terrifying. It's
that's
what
I was trying to
It's
say.
a dude with non-dude-like things going on. You know, like
it's a not dude.
it's a not dude.
But
It's
I get
an
what you're
entity.
saying, Evan. While putting form to something eliminates that unknown fear factor, I still think,
Which makes it more terrifying.
yeah, I think it makes it less terrifying putting an image to it. But I think the fact that you don't get the full image of it still leaves that unknown factor. Because it was still facing away from you, and as we will see, it is always going to be facing away from you.
Yeah. Personally, I think just hearing the music was more terrifying because it's like you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And then you see it, and it's like, yeah, that's still terrifying. But like your brain can rationalize that as being, oh, it's a guy. Somehow this is happening with the music, and somehow he's moving around with his weird limbs. But I think just like the idea of the music and feeling like those eyes on you
Yeah.
is kind of more terrifying for me because, you know,
And I feel like that's exactly
what the
why
hell's watching me?
Crystal lost so much sanity, was because it was very personal, and you never even saw it. I think it was
It was
much
like right
more,
in front of her, but she couldn't see it. She could
Yeah.
just hear the music all around her, like 8D audio, and then she could just feel it in front of her behind a tree. And that was terrifying to imagine.
Yep.
So I was like, good job, Noah.
I think seeing it made it so much more terrifying, especially with what it
Yeah.
did.
It was definitely terrifying.
It's so
but-
uncanny that I hate it.
Mhm.
I'll just say it.
So-
I hate
Yeah.
that thing. It's
Well,
too scary.
I'm sure we
Hate
all
that
do.
thing.
It's just too
Also,
scary.
just the anticipation of hearing the music at any given point past this.
But it
fucking
passes,
awful.
and then
It's
you're
like-
like, where is it? Like you're looking around,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that
yeah,
doesn't-
that's the worst part.
and that's why seeing it makes it so much scarier. Is because now you're looking out for it. Like before, you're just like, oh, it's somewhere watching me. But now you're like, I need to find it so I can keep it in my line of sight so I can escape. Before, it's just
Yeah.
like,
Fair.
man, whatever. Like it's somewhere, sure, but I think it's even scarier when you know where it is.
Either way, it's scary, and I don't like it.
No, I don't
No,
like
we
it.
don't like this.
Unfortunately,
I don't like
it
it.
appeared to be watching the group leave, almost as if it was expecting their return.
Yeah. See you soon.
But thankfully, the group left town. As they did, they could each feel a weight lift off their shoulders, like they were each holding their breath and just realized it. They made their way to a shoddy motel in the neighboring town of Newport. While there, the group rested and recovered for an entire week. During this week, a plethora of things happened. Briar got confirmation from Arthur that the situation was being dealt with, and was told not to talk to the Emirates anymore. He uttered the tragic line, "I'm sorry for what they did to Vincent's body," and did not elaborate further. What was the group's reaction to this news? I guess specifically Briar, because I remember you saying that this had a big effect on Briar's relationship with Arthur. You can just go.
Oh, that was it. Like, imagine, not, because obviously they're not super close, but imagine hearing the phrase about a person you saw die, "I'm sorry what they did to their body."
That's fucked.
What the fuck? And the fact that
Aquarium?
and the fact that like he didn't do anything further other than like it's a huge deal that he was like, I got them off your back, but that was it. There was no closure.
Yep.
And there was no signs of it going further than that. And Briar was like, this motherfucker, he's with them. I hate this guy now. Not hate this guy. He was just like, this guy is a scumbag for what they let... Like, he let them do that to Vincent. And I have written in Vincent's notes, actually, under the Emirates, right here, they killed Vincent. I have to lay him to rest if possible. And then right below, that after hearing the confirmation from Arthur that we're gonna go, I said, could Vincent be in on it?
Mm-hmm.
So from this moment forward, Briar was like, this guy's like, he's got some nefarious shit going on with the Emirates too.
Because of the situation and everything that happened, the investigation wasn't over. You guys had simply found a large piece of the puzzle, sure. But thanks to Arthur, it was kind of just put on pause for the moment. And we'll see going forward that they do eventually come back and they do find out what happened to Vincent. But for Evan, how did you feel about the one who was playing Vincent and hearing this?
It definitely sparked a lot of questions. Like, what in all that is holy happened to my body to have those words be what is muttered?
Nothing good.
Like,
yeah, it leaves a lot up to the imagination. That's the worst part.
Especially with the last thing being that he had a giant leech stuck to his stomach and his life was being drained out of him.
Yeah. It's got to feel awful.
It definitely was a punch to the gut, I won't lie.
A leech to the gut, you mean?
Get the fuck out.
But do you have any additional thoughts hearing this line, Hallia?
Honestly, I don't actually. I mean, I remember that being said to Briar, but I don't remember Crystal having like a reaction.
What about you, Hallia?
I mean, I don't really remember it either. I just
Sure,
remember
that's
hearing
fair.
that, and then it just. I was like, damn, I'm sure.
To be fair, Briar never
Yeah,
mentioned
it didn't have
that,
as much of an impact.
Yeah, Briar didn't.
No, I didn't really think anything.
No,
Sorry.
you continue. You're the one being asked the question too.
Sorry. I can imagine as Briar that must have been awful, but for Crystal, she was like, because like, for me, hearing that again, I'm like, oh, that's not that bad. Like, I'm sorry he died, is what I imagined Arthur was talking about, but maybe not.
Yeah, that's a way you could see it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I see it now, and I assume how I saw it then.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, I'm sorry he died too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she didn't
So,
really.
yeah, it wasn't as big of an impact as the others, especially because you weren't there to witness it.
No.
I also don't think Briar mentioned the fact that he said, I'm sorry what they did to Vincent's body. He didn't even mention that. In fact, he had this quiet resentment for Arthur from then forward, like moving forward, and he never told anybody.
Mm-hmm.
He let Arthur
I
know
remember you
whenever they
mentioning
showed up, and he would kind of be like he'd give him that stink face, but other than that,
Yeah.
like, he never verbalized it, and it was a super.
I'm not even sure you and Arthur talked a lot after that.
Nope.
Probably not for like weeks, I don't think.
Mm-mm. And even
Unless
when
you had to.
And even when we did like converse, it was like 1 to 2 word answers, unless like Briar was asking the question, right?
Yep. Yeah, we'll see that going forward. But additionally, during this week, Lauren was visited by her professor, a man by the name of William Floyd. He's a tall man with a stubble and short-cut, graying, light brown hair. He's usually seen wearing his police uniform or a gray long sleeve. He met up at the hotel. I believe he had emailed Lauren previously. And he talked with her. He didn't explain much, but stated he was heading for Holmes End to take over the case from Lauren. He told her that he scats it from here, and that she should take off. Of course, if she wanted to head back into town, he wouldn't stop her. But she would not interfere with his case. What was Lauren thinking?
Why the fuck are you sending me here if you're just gonna take over, you asshole? She was really fucking pissed. Like, she was pissed over the fact that like she's been constantly, well, maybe not constantly, but I know Briar's definitely talked with the group to be like, hey, this place is probably not safe, you should leave. And now
Yeah.
she's hearing it again from her professor who literally told her to come here. It's like, are you kidding? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious right now?
This wasn't the first time someone's been like, you should leave.
Yeah. And it definitely won't be the last. But yeah. It was definitely like a sting, because it was like, the fuck, dude. But
Yeah. Like,
She-
so this is my case.
yeah, she made a point that she wasn't going to leave and wasn't going to give up on it. Which I think he got a little saucy about, but
He definitely, yeah, he was definitely a bit maybe anxious, overbearing. Remember you guys made some checks to look into his behavior, but none of them rolled entirely too well. So you didn't really get a good bead on the figure. But what was everybody else's thoughts? Seeing Lauren's professor.
That's a professor.
So real. It did
Why are
nothing
you
too much.
Alright.
I mean, he's a police officer, right? He's not like a sheriff
Yeah,
professor.
yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Maybe it took too long, and he was like, oh, I gotta finish it. Rookie over here.
Or you're also
So-
sending
Sure,
a fucking
sure.
college student. Like, what?
Absolutely.
You're
If
like-
you want it dealt with, like, immediately, get the fucking forces on it.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
what?
I
so
know.
you thought it made sense?
I mean, yeah. I was sad for Lauren, because she was upset, so I was like, damn. Must
My
suck to
fucking
get your
extra
case
credit.
taken.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Crystal was like, I mean, makes sense, I guess.
Anybody
Maybe
else?
they found more information.
I remember Briar thinking two things, and one of which was, well, he's gone to a police academy before, and yeah, he handled it as professional as he could. But also there was this like air of worry to him. Like he was like, maybe he knows what's going on in Holmes End. He did his own research, and he was like, he called into the Holmes End like police department, and they were probably like, yeah, you get the fuck out of here. And he was like, okay, I'm gonna come say I'm gonna take this case over. She'll leave, and then I can leave, kind of thing. So it's like a peace of mind thing where he's like, I'm putting this young lady in danger during her summer course. Because I think didn't he even offer? He was like, yeah, you can still have the credit. Just go home.
Yeah.
I think it was
It
more
was very odd.
Yeah, I think it was for his own peace of mind kind of thing, where he learned that this town was dangerous, and he was like, you need to go.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else, or
Andre wasn't there when it happened, but he definitely, well, not he, I genuinely had a fishy feeling about him, like something's just not setting right.
and as of right now, even like probably 20 or so sessions ahead. they
Where the
still
fuck
haven't
is
heard
he?
about him.
No.
Honest to God, I think the
They
guy
have
just
not seen him.
I think he just showed up to go home,
Lawrence?
Lauren. You get your extra credit, and then he went home himself.
Definitely not.
We'll learn this
Maybe.
as we go on, but Lauren's a little salty bitch. So if you yell at her, she's going to ignore the shit out of you and pretend you don't exist. So
Get out.
Honestly,
so she was like, so she's like,
Uh.
okay, this okay, bye. I don't care. You don't exist
Bye.
anymore. Goodbye. I don't care.
But he very much so does exist.
we stand.
He's
Lauren
at home
Brown.
right now having a cup of Joe with his wife.
Yep.
I'm sure glad I saved that Lauren kid's life. Oh, you did great, sweetie.
Jump in the air.
Lauren and Holmes End.
Freeze frame. Oh my god.
Get out!
But with the introduction and departure of one of Lauren's professors, from her past. We saw a bit more about Lauren, and the party each grew a bit together as they learned about each other. They talked, and they figured out their plan to eventually investigate the burning news.
I also see here there's a note. There's a note on the side of the screen.
Yeah.
That
There's a
details.
note
At some
on
point-
the side of the screen.
Yeah, at some point,
The fuck?
Andre was informed about the entire situation.
Okay.
And he immediately, I think he immediately rushed over to the hotel to try to figure out what was going
I'm
on.
pretty sure how I remember this. I was the one who left the note, by the way.
Yeah.
Whoa, because Alyssa
I thought we were
remembered.
gonna skip this.
We're
Alyssa
not going to skip this.
No,
This
I
is-
literally saw it.
I
That
have
it wasn't
written
on the
down-
script, and I was like,
Okay.
"We're talking
Yeah.
about this bitch."
Okay, wait. I was like,
Because-
that's a big moment for Lauren.
That's a-
I was asking.
moment.
I was basically asking you all in the script. I asked what were some highlights, and Alyssa provided one of these highlights.
Yeah, I remember the aftermath of the shooting incident very well. So I remember us pretty much getting to the hotel, and I think it was maybe the next day that Briar called Andre, being like, "Hey, I was
Yeah.
shot the other night."
Yeah.
Just so like nonchalantly, and
Uh-huh.
Andre was like, "What? Where are you?
I'll
like,
be over there real
why
real
aren't you
quick.
at the
I'm
fucking
coming."
hospital, you dumbass?"
Yeah.
So he drove
Shad-
over.
Shad
and-
Briar Withers. Oh, shot
Threw
head.
my
Soy
medical
Andre.
supplies in my briefcase and headed on over.
Yeah.
This was a wild moment.
Fucking.
Scared the absolute fuck out of me.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about it.
Look, I wonder why. We'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
We
Wait,
talked
But
about it. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, if you wanna, you're the one who wrote the note.
Okay. So when Andre got there, Briar was pretty much picking him up to speed. I think Lauren went on a walk around the motel just to clear her head, and have some alone time, while everyone was being filled in on what happened. And I remember Lauren coming back, and we if you watch Side Quest, you might know a little bit about this moment because I've talked about it before. But Lauren pretty much got back, noticed the conversation has not stopped over what happened the other night, and flipped her absolute shit at Andre, even though he was trying to help.
Yeah.
But it was unwarranted help.
Yeah.
That was very warranted. It's
So it
just
makes sense.
unwanted.
Yeah. I just think
I'm sure
Lauren
it-
was in a fragile state of mind at the time.
Yeah.
It
just
stuck
happened.
a chord more because she was awake and witnessed the beforehand of what happened. So I remember her yelling at him, being like, "You weren't there. You didn't see the shit I saw. Don't act like you know what's going on. Like, this."
Think
And
those
I
are your
remember,
exact words.
I remember the last thing she said before she slammed the door and walked out again was, "This was my fault," and
Yeah.
slammed the fucking door. And then Crystal and Walter came out and tried to console her the best they could. I don't know if you want to talk about Crystal's reaction because you came out, but
Well, for real quick, my reaction, I wasn't expecting to hear Alyssa ever.
Yeah. I love that shit.
So
Yeah, I didn't like
that
being
shit
receiving end of
genuinely-
that.
yo, this was
Scared
when we
the
were playing
hell out of
Holmes
me.
End in the garage, and I'm like, there's no one
Yeah.
who can hear me. I'm gonna
Yeah.
use this moment.
it was wild. I was
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah. Alyssa
I was
doesn't
actually so scared.
get the character.
Like that.
Yeah, like as she
Yeah,
doesn't put as much emotion
she does a bit more now.
as often.
It's
But
it's
that
been
was a
Lauren.
turning
She's
point.
been breaking me out of that role playing
Which is
shell
good.
because
Yeah.
Lauren's pretty much just me. So
Whoop, whoop.
it's been easy to really react to
Yeah.
those situations.
But it was terrifying to hear her yell because I'd never really heard Alyssa raise her voice by that point. So I was like,
Yeah.
I felt like a kindergartner getting yelled at by their like teacher. And I was like,
You weren't
"Okay,
even the
Miss
one
Harris."
being yelled at. Oh my
No,
god.
No,
I know.
I think
I was
everyone
beside
at
her.
the table.
I
like,
genuinely
after that,
sunk
kinda
into
was like,
myself.
"Mm."
Same, dude. I remember. I was like, "Okay, Miss Harris, sorry."
I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting there and I was like,
Yeah, I was like,
Terrifying.
let's go.
I was like,
I didn't.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome. But oh my god.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I
like,
was like,
I
"Let's go."
apologize,
But I was like,
Evan.
"Oh,
I wasn't
God."
like, oh my god. I was like, this is it.
This would not be the first, or this would not be the last time for me though, as a player, being yelled at by another person.
No, but understandable reasons. But anyway,
Yeah, there's a lot of emotional moments that happen in Holmes End.
Mm-hmm.
but like I don't even like remember anything that Crystal said to Lauren. I just remember her and Walter going out and sitting with you, and maybe trying to talk. And
Yeah,
it was
you
like
both-
really
I
awkward.
feel like you both didn't really know what to say, but you guys kind of provided your presence and more
Yep.
so
Yeah,
like
just
being
wanted
like,
you to have
what?
some.
Why are
Yeah.
you saying it's your fault? Like, what happened?
Mhm.
Yeah, just providing some emotional support.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
really what Andre was trying
And
to
then
do.
Andre gave me weed.
But that's true. What's the word?
Medicinal.
Medical marijuana.
Medicinal
And
marijuana.
I remember her and Walter shared some, and
Oh
they
yeah.
they,
Because he
they
gave it to
definitely relaxed for a
Walter
bit.
to give it to me, and then
Yeah.
I think Andre
Oh.
gave him two, so we both had a pack.
Yeah. So then he was like, "Hey, do you want one?"
Yeah.
No.
It was
So
all
selfish.
That was my way of trying to lighten the mood.
So selfish of you two. Briar in the fucking bed, aching head, sitting there. You guys outside.
This is also when
Look at that squirrel.
Matchmaker Crystal came into play.
Yeah.
I was just about
Yeah.
to say, is this the
Yeah,
first
it-
Warren
it-
moment?
It was in her book, and she wrote that shit down immediately when she got back into her room.
Yep. Crystal.
I remember Walter leaving, and like you in character nudged on me like and I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Walter?
And I was like, I met him like 3 days ago.
Hey, trauma bonding. Trauma bond. Trauma bond.
No. We see a faint glimmering connection between Lauren and Walter begin to form.
And it's because of Vincent.
Whoa.
Did you miss the past 2 seconds?
Did you
Like,
miss the
hey,
fact that Walter would have probably
Yeah.
died if I didn't push him out?
We can say both
it's
of you
the
guys.
butterfly
we can say
effect,
both.
Did we
Everybody,
mention
everybody.
who?
What?
Who asked?
But
Never do that again. Never
yeah,
do that again.
also in the comment, get out. You wrote, "We got to better see Crystal and Andre's reaction to the situation."
yeah.
And you said you remember Crystal really freaking out over the fact that Briar killed somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, I remembered, Crystal not hearing about the fact Briar killed someone until this moment.
Yeah, I mean, she
'Cause I
probably
feel
had an
like-
inkling.
Maybe. I feel like, I don't know. But I remember her really freaking out, and then she took a moment outside, and then Lauren followed her out.
Oh damn, we love going outside in this.
Yeah. There's a lot of,
That's where the
cramped
scary
ass
things are.
Motel room.
It might have been because Briar went into like detail.
Maybe that
Because
was
like I think that's
Because I
what.
remember you
well,
being freaked
something
out
happened.
about the fact that people you were, like, around
Yeah, we're killing
were
people.
killing people.
Briar past that point
She's
didn't
like-
he didn't mention, he wasn't like, oh, I beat that guy to death with my bare hands. He didn't. I in fact I don't even know if
Imagine he wouldn't.
I don't even think he really talked about the situation afterwards. He just kind of laid in bed while you guys talked about it.
Yeah.
In fact, when Lauren yelled at Andre, Briar felt Like, he was like, oh, man, can't believe I made her do this. He felt so embarrassed. He was like, this is all my fault.
Damn.
Oh my
Yeah.
lord.
So
Both-
he
we
was
starting
both
to-
had
it's starting to
the,
sound like a drama.
It's my
Yeah.
fault.
He was...
Briar, Lauren.
That's what Holmes
it's
End
not
is.
your
It's
fault.
a thriller drama.
He kind
It's
of,
not your fault.
he didn't really mention it
It's
at
not
all.
your fault.
It was you guys that were talking about it.
It's
Yeah, but I
think
remember
his
very-
name was
very
Joshua.
vividly.
It's Joshua's fault.
Joshua?
Yeah.
I think that was his name.
Yeah, eventually they'll find out the name of the dude that Briar killed and the dude that attacked
Oh.
them, and it was Joshua.
In fact,
Yeah,
Crystal...
because at the library, we Crystal went through his pockets, and
Yeah.
found his wallet, and
Also, another moment. Joshua's name was introduced, and it was the dude from the dude from Briar's tapes, who was the guy who went down into the catacombs.
Yep.
And I think Walter had a moment here where he realized, before heading to the library, he went to the bar to try to talk with the mystery figure who gave them all this task to explore the mausoleum. He stayed there for a bit, and I think Joshua tried to talk to Walter, and he was like, something's weird here, I'm leaving. So he went to the library, and it was during that moment in the hotel where he realized, oh shit, it might have been my fault that... It might have been my fault that Joshua knew where we were. And I think that's how he and Lauren bonded. Where Walter was like, I think it was me. I think I led him there.
I don't remember
probably.
this, but
You remember
I
this or
believe
you
you.
don't?
I don't.
No?
But I believe you.
Yeah, I definitely remember Walter. Does anybody else remember this?
I do.
Very, very vaguely.
I
Yeah.
remember Walter
I
mentioned...
Very vague.
might have
I
talked about
remember-
it briefly. So
Yeah,
I
I
definitely know
remember-
Walter thought this, where he was like, I talked to this guy. I met him at the
I
bar.
remember. I
He
remember
might
being
have
like a
actually
very, like,
mentioned it after Lauren flipped her shit and you two were comforting her. I feel
Yeah.
like he might
Yeah.
have mentioned it during that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
that was a
remember-
way of trying to comfort her, where he was like, it's not your fault, it's mine, which is stupid, but it's
It's
the only
none
thing
of
Walter
our
could think of.
faults.
It's
I-
Joshua's.
I think that's where Crystal came in, being like, "No, it's not. It's no one's fault, guys. How could
Yeah,
you
trauma
even like
bonding.
no?"
Yeah, I think that's why. She was like, you guys are so similar. Dang.
And I think when we go through this a little more, we will see how similar they might be.
Yeah, you'll see Crystal's little shenanigans when it involves Warren.
Yeah.
Warren. And
Did,
Twinkling Lights.
did
Cue the
Briar
jazz music.
ever tell Andre
No,
about what
Not
happened?
yet.
Briar?
Did anybody tell Andre what happened? Or I guess I should ask, what was Andre's reaction to hearing
shooting?
this and going to the hotel and seeing Briar in such a fucked up condition? What was he thinking?
What the fuck did you do?
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's exactly what you said when you walked in the door
Probably.
of the motel, being like, "What the fuck happened? What did you do?"
Thug's gotta thug it out.
Did Briar mention
Nope.
killing the guy or no?
Nope.
Okay.
Probably not.
Other people did, I'm
But-
sure, because Crystal had that moment and you were there for it. Briar didn't mention it because he was like, why would I? Why would I even want to mention anything that happened there? In fact,
Yeah, I'm not sure Andre ever knew what happened.
up to present day, I don't even
I
think...
remember us all feeling like, I feel like it was Briar who filled everyone in, and once Lauren calmed down, she shared her side of the story. So we all got a picture at the end. But I feel like
Yeah.
you maybe mentioned going a little too far when it came to beating the guy up. Because I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah,
like
that sounds right.
Because I feel like the crystal situation wouldn't have happened if you didn't specify that.
I mean, she went through the guy's
Yeah.
pockets, right? Like, she knew he was dead before we even
Yeah,
made it to the
but
hotel.
she didn't come up in time
No,
to
but-
realize who did it.
Yeah, I just know he was dead.
Yeah, when Crystal came up, it was already done.
Yeah. So,
She didn't
and then I
witness
think I
any
made
of it.
Or
Yeah,
at
no,
least
I didn't see
it
any
might
of
not
it.
have sunk in until the day after.
Maybe.
Maybe, but I'm pretty sure it had to have been mentioned, or else I don't see why she would have been like,
But
what the
So
fuck?
then-
either way,
This does change my answer to how Andre reacted.
Well,
Because
what do you remember?
Well, what I remember is being like, what I said earlier is like, what the fuck did you do? But then hearing about the, like, Briar or whoever killed Joshua, he did feel a bit of a bond there because of what's happened to him and what he's done. But also, I think he had a bit of what is it?
realization,
No, not realization.
a
Fear.
moment.
No, a bit of satisfaction.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I
Ooh.
forgot.
Interesting.
I forgot. Yeah, that's true.
Seeing that chaos was brought and it found a bloody conclusion.
When you phrase it like that, it sounds
Interesting.
awful.
Yeah, we learned a bit more about Andre here. He has a
I think this
strange
is the
way of thinking
episode where
about
we
things.
learn a little bit more about all of our characters, because we haven't really touched on our characters a lot.
No.
also
But
did this change Andre's opinion of the group? Were you ever like, maybe I shouldn't associate with these people anymore?
There was the angel and devil on my shoulder being like, you need to help these people. And then the devil was like, see what mischief you can cause.
An interesting response. Anybody else have anything to add? Any other highlights of the hotel?
I feel like
Let's
I
hope
yapped
that doesn't
enough
happen
about
again.
about the motel.
This is the last time we'll ever do anything like this.
Right?
no more
Yep.
hotels. No more getting shot.
No more
Yeah,
near
we're
Go
more
back and
experience
Holmes End's
in
gonna be
Holmes End.
fixed.
Yeah, we're all gonna be okay.
Wake
Wake
up.
up.
Wake
Wake
up.
up.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Finally, the day before they were due to leave, they each had a strange dream. It was a set of quick moments. Two figures dropping a gold idol into a lake. A closed door with whirring machinery and eyes that peered out. A top-down view of a family in their house. A pulsing room of red flesh. An empty hospital with a faint figure floating down the halls before a blinding light. A dead figure holding a sinister book over a set of stone stairs. Someone holding up a strange hand sign inside a prison. A hotel with a ceiling covered in strings. Finally, the dream faded into the sly and slender. The figure in the gas mask stood holding the ringing phone before it went quiet. I will explain. I await you all. And that's the end of chapter 5. Woo!
You
Dreams. Thoughts on the
What the
session?
freak?
time, yay!
Well,
What
as
though?
per usual,
What was that?
always fun.
Whirlwind, what?
well,
What the fuck?
surely Briar will never have a near-death experience again.
Surely.
Also,
Nothing bad ever happens to the Weathers.
nothing bad ever happens to the Weathers. Surely we'll never have a dream like that again.
Nothing.
Surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on
Cue
that?
the music.
Well, I wrote it down in its entirely, so my thoughts on that are
Yeah.
this is
I did
important.
Entirely or entirety?
Entirety,
Yeah,
right?
especially now that you move
fuck?
forward.
I just realized something that ties into that, and I'm
Yeah.
so dumb for not realizing that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This
We're learning more about the lore
as you
by
go
doing
on.
this podcast.
This
I
was
get
We're all a
it.
little
Right.
fucked up.
strange take on a whole new meaning.
Mm-hmm. There is so much more in store, and you don't even know it.
It's the
Yeah.
beginning.
There's some juicy shit coming up.
Yeah, this is
Well, you could
like
know.
the way
Just
I was
click the
picturing
next
it.
episode.
True, it's not out yet.
Not yet. But
For
when it
me,
is, it's over there.
This
It's over
was
there.
this was the end of season 1, basically, where I was like,
Hell yeah!
they've done the first major milestone. Let's give them a taste of what's to come.
Yeah. This is also the first taste of Briar All Hands Weathers.
Yep.
3 rounds, baby! 3 rounds!
Briar's gonna build a 1 for those who don't know, and he's very strong.
Uh-huh. He's a big, strong, handsome man.
Independent man who don't need no woman.
They call him
That's a good
Big
song.
John.
Boy.
Big John.
But what does it all mean? I guess we'll have to find out as we continue on. Hope you all enjoyed this chapter of The Descent into Holmes End. This chapter started off with a bang, but thankfully, they made it through, and the group can finally get some rest outside of the town. For finishing this episode, you all get to level up. The group just finished an investigation, or at least did what they could currently, which means they will level up with you. This isn't like D&D. Whatever skills you succeeded on so far, you get to roll an improvement check. Sure, it's no magic or extra attack, but it's an improvement, and that's the most important part. Stick around for the next episode. Chapter 6. An Interrupted Investigation.